Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
Frutticola is a fruit-based game. We're going to be building jam in this game. And it takes a really cool mechanism of these cards that you have. You can draft them or just randomly assign them. And each card will have an initiative order, what workers you have, and the order those workers will come out, and a power at the end. So you have 5 cards, but you only play 4 of them through the game. And based on when you play them will be what order you go in compared to the other players, what workers you're going to get, and what order those workers come out. And you have to play those workers in the order listed on the card. So not just get these workers, it's the order also, and then the unique power you're going to have for that round. This card mechanism really makes this game. And this is something I'm eager to see in more games. I love this card play that happens before you kind of get into the meat and potatoes of the game itself. And then it's a worker placement game. Now each worker, whether it's a farmer or a worker, will be different. You can also have apprentices that can come, and they will have unique powers. So if a farmer goes here, he may give you a bonus, or if a worker goes here, he gives you a bonus. But you might want to grab that spot, but you might not want to wait 2 of your people down to get there with somebody take it from you, so you have all these hard decisions going on. At the same time, you're getting fertilizer and pesticide to get the fruit, to get the jam, to sell the jam. Do I want to go through all that, or just get the fruit and sell the fruit, but it's not as beneficial as getting the jam? And the market could change because somebody sells something, the price goes down. Oh my gosh, there's so much to worry about. But the game is kept simple. The game is really simple. Something like Agricola is so much more complex than this, because this just keeps things really simple. You want to get the pesticide and fertilizer, to get the fruit, to get the jam, to sell it. And that's the cycle that you're going through. Now, sometimes with the tiles that you get in the powers, you can skip some of those steps along the way, or make those steps more efficient for you, and you can do things quicker and better as the game progresses. And you have goal cards that you're trying to attach, and at the end of the game, whoever has the most money or points will be the winner of the game. This is something that I just kind of bought at a lark. My local store got this Kickstarter version, and I kind of liked it. And the components are a little bit let down. I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to make this really nice, but it feels like you're trying to make something really nice on a budget and just quite come together, and the components just don't come together with this game. I'd like to see, even though Kickstarter gave me that deluxe version, I almost want to see this done again and done correctly. And this is a game that might be flying under the radar, but this is a really, really solid engine builder, worker placement, card drafting, multi-use card game. And it packs all that into a very easy to understand and very easy to play box. And I liked it quite a bit. Speaking of that box is way too big for what you're getting in here. You get a lot of free air with this. I'm not sure I'm happy about that, but that is where we stand. This is an excellent game. I had a lot of fun with it. I can see a lot of strategies coming in based on what tiles you get. And although everybody kind of starts the same, as the game progresses, those card plays and what you're doing will definitely shape up a different narrative for each player. Absolute keeper for me. This hits a wheelhouse with me. Excellent job. And this is the Kickstarter version of the game. You can see the different jams on the front that you can make. As you open it up, you're going to get a rulebook, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. In addition, we're going to have a player board that will be at half. It's pretty sturdy, and it's double-sided depending on the number of players, which you can see down here in the bottom right. Everybody's going to get a player board with farmers, and you can have the workers you're going to have. They're different shapes with some cubes inside there. And you get purple, white, and brown, and you're going to have different colors for that. You're going to have your tracker here that you'll utilize for the game terms, and you're going to utilize this little clip here that is kind of cute. Will come down, and as you go through the round, you'll kind of scoot that down. So it's very, very cute that you'll have here. You're going to have any number of these. Now, these things are not great. So these are going to be your jams and your fruits. They look really cute. The problem is, man, they're just a mess. They roll really easily, and some of these are very, very small. They're cute, though. I can't deny that. Like, here's an apple. It's kind of hard to tell exactly what is what sometimes. The little lemons that you see here, and then the blueberries are really, really tiny. So I just kind of throw them on this bag and pull them out into, see the strawberries, how small they are? I pull them out into a jar as we're playing. In addition, you're going to have any number of tiles. These are pretty thick, and I think the little things on them are cute. You're going to get plenty of expansions in here. These little tree things can be kind of a mess, too. I mean, I think they're super cute, but you have to put them together every single time, and it's double-sided for which player it is, so you can't even glue them together if you wanted to. It depends on how many players you have. These little chits that you're going to get are very small for the fertilizers and pesticides. I mean, everything is neat. I feel like this box is way bigger than it needs to be. You gotta put all this stuff together every time you play. The money's kind of a joke. It's not exactly paper, but it is, and it's different denominations. This is not very good stuff. And then mine came with some card sleeves, which I'm probably not going to use, and some of these stick tiles. You can see these gold cards don't have a lot of artwork on them, just icons. And then the cards you'll be playing with are these little player cards. They're cute enough. They're small. I think all the information is nicely the number, initiative order, and then the workers you get on them, but they are tiny. Just be aware of that. For a Kickstarter project, it's okay. The components are mediocre at best, if you ask me, but I do kind of like this, although the box is way bigger than it needs to be. So here's the rulebook for the game. You see a picture from the box on there. You're going to have the components over here without pictures, which is a bummer, but you do get a picture of setup over here and game flow. I really recommend reading this. This game is kind of wonky a little bit here, so this really helped me out. And then when you're jumping in, it's going to tell you like how the seasons work, how the cards are going to work. It's very important to know this. And it goes through each of the different action areas. At its heart, it's a worker placement game. So it's going to go through each section, what happens at the end of the season. It's really not that complicated of a game. It kind of feels more complicated and looks a little bit more complicated than it is. Then the following season, what happens at the end of the game is called a Christmas sale. Then there's some rules for 3-player and 2-player, which are okay. And this appendix back here didn't look that great when I first saw it. But man, it really saved us. It really explains everything through here. And you have the expansions that are in here. And they're also explained fairly well back here. And it continues on to the last page. So the rulebook was actually pretty good. I thought it wasn't going to be as good as it was, but it actually was a great rulebook. The easiest place to start with this game is the fact that there's 4 seasons. There's 4 rounds of the game, and each time you go through, you get this done. When you get to the last one, at the end of the round, you'll have a Christmas sale, which means you can sell all of your jam for a lower price than what it would be if you were able to do it during the game. And this will be your tracker for that. One of the most important things to do is understand how these cards work. I'm going to pretend like these are the 4 cards played this turn by the players. Everybody will play their card face down and reveal them at the same time. So you have a little bit of information that's going to be going on these cards. I'm going to set these 3 aside and just show you this one right here. So if this is the card we played, we would go in initiative order. So the top left would go there. If a 6 and 17 was played, the 6 would go first. The 17 would go second. If it's a 3-player game and the 2 was played, the 2 would go first, then the 6, and then the 17th, and that would be the turn order for the round. Then you would take your workers and put them in the exact order that is listed here on the side of the card. In this case, you would have 2 workers signified by these meeples and a farmer signified by this. They will go in this order. And what that means is, on my first round, I will play this guy. Second round, I will play this guy. And the third round, I will play this guy. If I had played this card instead, and I was this character, I couldn't put these 2 workers here. Instead, I would have 3 farmers, and I would play for the round the 3 farmers in the order listed, just like this. If I had played this card, I would have had 3 farmers, and then the 2 workers behind it. So I would actually be playing 5 people this round as opposed. So even though because I'm going later, I'm getting more workers, and that's generally one of the ways it goes in the game. So let's say this is the card I played. You're also going to have a power at the bottom. When you use the market with the farmer, first increase 1 sell price by 1 level. So that's the power this guy is going to have. This guy would have a different power. Gain a discount of 1 fertilizer or pesticide when using the orchard action. This guy is gain 1 additional fruit of the same type when using the orchard action. Or this person, you have 1 additional sell in the market action and considered a sell price plus 1. So the kind of the 3 things you're going to be working out each round is where in order do you want to go, how many people do you want to play, and which type of person do you want to play, and what do you want your power to be for the round. Once again, these will all be placed face down. We will reveal at the same time and then get our things in order and get our initiative order and player order for the round based on this. Next round, this will go away, and you will play new cards for the round, and that's how that will go. In addition, during the game, they're going to have these end-of-game scoring that's going to be available to all of the players. You're going to have one in this light one, in this middle one, and in this purple. And you're going to have any number of these that could be utilized, and you're going to choose a different one for each game more than likely. And then when you accomplish it, you will just simply put your little cube on it. You can only accomplish each tile once, and the second person go, he would get the lesser amount. For example, this one says, first one to make $50 on 1 sale action. If you're able to do that, then you would score 15 points. If you're the second person, you would get 10 and then 5, for example. If you have in your warehouse, you have to have a yellow a red, and a peach jam all at one time in your warehouse if you're the first person to do that. So it gives you something to work for and gives you extra victory points at the end of the game for doing so. So here's the main board you're going to have that you'll be utilizing during the game. At the top is going to be the price of what things will sell for, and they will move up and down. So at the end of each round, they will move up one score. Anytime something is sold, they will move down. In the middle here, you're going to have these powers that you can build for all intents and purposes. It's called Town Center, and these things will help you out. For example, this one will immediately give you a peach and a strawberry and gives your warehouse one extra place. Because during the game, you're going to have a warehouse. You're going to have one of these. Everybody's going to have one. We can only hold 9 things, either jam or fruit, and each one takes up one spot. So having an additional warehouse, like this one gives you 2 oranges in a warehouse spot, can be very valuable. Then here at the bottom is going to be basically the main actions of the game. Now you're going to have these little trees that will be built. And I'm just going to show you a couple in general. So you have these trees, and they'll be built in here based on the number of players, but they're 3D, so I'm going to go here. So at the bottom is what you're going to pay. So like here, you would give up 2 green or 3 pesticide or fertilizer, and then you would get what's on the tree. So in this case, I'll get 3 oranges and a plum. So that's kind of what you would do based on that. And there's going to be any combination of these that you're going to have. So yeah. They're going to be, and you're going to match the tops to the bottoms, but you give up fertilizer, in this case nothing, and you're going to get either an orange or a lemon, or a peach or an apple. So this is how you're going to get fruits, and these will be set up beside the board. But this is where most of your actions are going to be. Now, if you want to go here with your worker, that's fine. You can just place a worker here, and the first spot doesn't cost you any money. You just pay the amount. So if I put a worker here, I'm going to pay $1 to get this spot. And you would just use the paper money that's included with the game to pay for things. Or you can go all the way down here, and this one would cost me 7. This allows me to buy, I can turn 1 lemon into 1 lemon jam, or 1 orange into 1 orange jam. Usually it would cost 2. That's what this is going to do. And the next spot costs you 0, next spot's 2, there's 5, and there's a catch-all that is 8. And you always, whatever the cost here, plus the cost up there. Now, the only caveat to this, if you send a farmer there, which is the other one, you're going to get a $2 discount. It's printed right here down to a minimum of 0. So I placed him there, even if I took this, which would cost me 1 because the discount would be free, or this, which is 2, but the discount 2 would be free. So something to think about as you're buying those. Now, in the first 2 rounds, you're going to have the level 1s, but after you get to the last 2 rounds, you'll be using the number 2 ones, which are more powerful, and these will come out in later on in the game. And these will sit in front of you, and you will just utilize them throughout the game as you see fit. Down here at the bottom, you're going to have some different things that will be going on. Now, if you place a worker down on this bottom spot right here, you will get these 2 workers. They go at the back of your line. They don't count as a worker or a farmer for any of the bonuses. They're just apprentices or workers that you can utilize later on in the round. If you were to put a farmer there, as signified here, it would cost you $3 in order to pick up the 2 guys. This is where you would cook, so you could put a person there. If you can see on the first one, it says 3, 2, and then the catch-all is 1. So you can put 1 person here, and another person there, and then as many people as needed can go here. So if I put a worker here, that means I could turn 3 into 2. It always takes 2 fruits. So if I had 2 oranges, I could turn that in and get 1 jam. So I would give these up from my warehouse, and I would put the 1 jam into my warehouse, and now I have 1 jam. So that would allow me to make 3 of those trades, if you will. The second spot would give me 2, and then here I could do just 1. If I put a worker there, which is what I did, I get +1. So by putting him there, I can actually do 4 of those, 3 here and 2. If I had put just a farmer there, then I would not get the +1. This spot here is how you get the pesticide or the fertilizer. You just grab these chits from the bag. Now the caveat here is you can only get the same types. This allows you to get 3, 2, or 1, depending on which space you take, but it's 3 of the same. 2 of the same, 1 of the same. If I would have put a farmer there, I can get +1, and that one can be different. The last spot on the board is the sell spot. What this is going to allow you to do is put a person here on the 3 spot, and I get 3 sells. So I could sell, if I had a lemon, I could sell it. I would get my $8 and move the lemon spot down 1 on the thing. I can also sell any fruit I have, even if it's not a jam, but it costs 3 for 1 instead of just the normal 1 jam. So 3 would give me the $5, and this wouldn't be moved down. Now what's important to note is that if I go to the kitchen here, I can turn 2 of these into 1 jam, or I can just skip that process, go right here, and give up 3 if I have a ton of these. So it just depends on what works out better for you. And that's the majority of the game. It's just a quick worker placement. Certain spots are going to be bonuses depending on which worker you have. But the majority of the uniqueness of the game is going to come from playing these cards. You're going to start out the game with 5 of these cards randomly distributed. There is a variant where you could draft these. And you're only going to play 4 during the game. So 1 you won't play at all, but that 1, which one you don't play, is your decision. I find these to be pretty balanced. I didn't really have any issues overarching with these cards, but this is going to be mainly where the game is. And then it's like, do you want to get what you want first, or can you hold back a little bit and maybe get more workers or better power? Or do you need to go first? So that's going to be a big decision. Sometimes you'll play a card down maybe like a 9 thinking you might go first, but somebody plays a 2 and you get hosed a little bit. So that's the majority of the game, how you play. You play 4, then you sell everything off at the Christmas, but when you sell it off, it all goes down 1 in price. So you're not going to get as much if you wait till then. And that's how you play. Who should buy this game? It's probably a medium weight game, I think. I think you're gonna, you go all the way through the gateway phase. You got some people to play with. The card play is very interesting. A lot of hard decisions in that. I'd probably prefer drafting versus just randomly getting the cards. I think, but that extra layer probably would do it the first couple times. But after that, I think the drafting is really going to help this game out. Then it's just resource management at that point. You're trying to get this jam or the fruit and sell them at the market at the best possible price while meeting those goals also that are set there. There are a few different ways to score points or money in this. There are a few different strategies you can implement based on the tiles that you're purchasing and choosing. You'll be able to dictate certain strategies as you go through. So I would say medium weight Euro game of what you're doing here. The components bring it to life with the, a strawberry looks like a strawberry, an apple looks like an apple, and that really helps things out here. I like the different meeple workers that you have. I think it works really excellent here. Excellent job. A few minor mistakes, I think, which I'll list in other aspects of this video, but for the most part, this has been a pretty big hit for me, and I like this game quite a bit.